Alright folks, welcome back to the Don's channel. I am the Donfather and I'm now going to quickly review round 6 2020. I'm just going to fire through the scorelines, not get too drawn into the games if you like. First up then, it was Thursday the 9th of July 2020. Geelong versus the Lions at the SCG. Geelong were looking to make this 3 wins in a row. The Lions were looking to make it 5. Somebody had to lose their winning streak and it was the Lions that did that. Geelong ran out. Good victory for Geelong. They ran out winners 73-46 to Geelong. And I was quite surprised actually. I'm not surprised that Geelong's got another win, but I am surprised that the Lions just maybe weren't as good as what they have been in previous weeks. So anyway, that was the scoreline there on Thursday. Friday then, prime time TV Friday evening, Collingwood versus Hawthorn. 2 big guns of the competition historically. Collingwood going into this and not the best of form. 2 losses in a row before this game, and Hawthorn off the back of a defeat themselves at the Giant Stadium. This one, Collingwood managed to scrape the victory, 59-27. I suppose the margin, it's a 32. It's not really scraping to victory, but it's quite a low scoring game, that one. They did win by 32-point margin, so the actual victory they won in quite comfortable fashion, to tell you the truth, but still quite a low scoring game, that's what I mean. 59-27 victors over Hawthorn. That's Hawthorn now, 2 losses in a row. They've won 3 out of 6, so 50% winning streak, along with quite a lot of other teams that are on 3 wins after 6 games. The Lions and Geelong both on 4, I forgot to mention that, 4 on 6, and that's Collingwood with 3 wins and a draw from 6 games. So on to Saturday then, Freo versus St Kilda. I backed St Kilda to win this one and they lost by a goal, 79-73 at the Metricon to Freo. Good win that for Freo. Quite a competitive game. Quite a lot of people probably would say that that was possibly the game of the weekend in terms of competitiveness and quite good footy on display as well. So it's good to see Freo actually managing 2 wins in a row. Not too sure who they are playing next week. I can't remember off the top of my head. I haven't actually wrote down my predictions. I have done them on the tipping app, but I've not wrote them down, so apologies for that. But I will do my tipping special this week anyway, so don't worry about that. So Freo won 79-73. Congratulations to them. On to their fierce rivals, the West Coast Eagles from Western Australia there against the Crows at the Gabba. I predicted a West Coast Eagles win and they've done that, albeit the Crows, it's probably a better performance from the Crows in some aspects. Of course, they've lost by a 33-point margin, but they weren't terrible. And West Coast Eagles weren't fantastic. 67-34, not really that much to say on that. It's another win for West Coast Eagles, and they'll take that back to the Derby in Western Australia this weekend. Looking forward to that one. Melbourne versus Gold Coast Suns in at the Giant Stadium. I predicted a Gold Coast Suns victory just because I think Melbourne's been playing poor this last wee while, and Gold Coast Suns, you know what, they've improved massively, but they're still the Gold Coast Suns. You can't expect too much from them. This is what I need to remind myself. They had a fantastic winning streak there, 3 games in a row, lost Rowell, and I think they're back down to being a little bit better than they were last year, but still probably one of the lower sides in the competition. And in brutal honesty, isn't it? So anyway, Melbourne won 80-63. Great scoreline for Melbourne, that one actually, I think, considering, as I say, they've not really been playing that great stuff this campaign so far. On to Essendon, North Melbourne at the Metricon then. Essendon probably one of the most informed teams in the competition. Of course, they've sat out a week now. North, 3 losses in a row going into this. Well, you can make that 4 now because Essendon beat them 67-53. Essendon do not hammer teams. They do not dazzle you with their footy, but they get the job done. They're probably one of the best teams in the competition at getting the job done. That's 4 wins now, and they've played 1 less game. So if they play that game, who is against Melbourne, remember that postponed game, you would like to think Essendon would probably be able to win that. If I was going to put a prediction on that, I would back Essendon for that. They'd be sitting bang up on the top of the ladder with Port right now if that game had went ahead, in my opinion. That'd be 20 points. So great start for them this year. 67-53. On to Sunday's fixtures then. Port versus the Giants. I predicted the Giants and I was wrong. The Giants actually played well last week. This one at the Metricon, I don't know if I said that. Port obviously won the first 4 rounds. 5th round lost against the Lions last week. Giants are off the back of 2 wins in a row, so they've got some bit of confidence about them going into this one, but they lost it. Well done to Port. That's 5 wins now, and they're keeping themselves up there, taking this back with them now to the round 7. They're still up. I think they're playing at the Gabba next week, aren't they? And then after that they'll be down in South Australia at the Adelaide Oval. So it's looking fantastic for Port. If they can get a win, that'll be 6 wins from 7 rounds, and then they'll be going home for a long period of time at the Adelaide Oval. Honestly now, it's looking good for Port. Congratulations to them. 63-46 victors. Richmond versus the Swans then at the Gabba, arguably the worst game of footy in a very, very, very long time. I think it's the 2nd lowest scoring game since football's AFL, well, the AFL started. Don't ask me what game was the lowest scoring, but I think when Richmond scored a behind, that made this one be the 2nd lowest. It was drawn for being the lowest scoring game. So Richmond anyway, they've only managed 2 wins from the 5 going into this one. The Swans the same, but the Swans had lost a week before and so Richmond had won. But Richmond ran out victors at 34-26. I really don't want to talk about this game again. It was poor. I think we've seen quite a lot of the fallout with Damien Hardwick and Longmire cutting each other apart in the media. But do you know what? Both teams were poor. The weather wasn't great. A couple of bad injuries for the Swans. Very disappointing for their season, that. Of course. Actually, I'll tell you something. Josh Kennedy's going to be a huge blow as well. But Isaac Heaney, I think it was, wasn't it? He's got injured. He's out for the rest of the year. He's a player I really enjoy watching, so I'm quite disappointed for the Swans there. And it's going to be a difficult season now without those 2 senior players. Just one little thing on it. I said I didn't want to go on about it too much, but that's just been breaking news today. It's a chance for a youngster to take the shirt and make that position his own now. And do you know what? There's no guarantee Kennedy and Heaney just walk straight back in that team if those youngsters impress. So do you know what? It's a chance to go out there and do something. Keep your place. Fight for the jersey and keep your place and make it difficult for these boys coming back. They're getting older now, particularly Josh Kennedy anyway. Young guns, you've got to alter. You've got the future ahead of you. Go out and do it. Carlton versus Bulldogs, probably the most convincing victory. Well, no, sorry, it is the most convincing victory of the weekend by a 52-point margin for a victory. And this all exploded. And Carlton were, for the whole 3 rounds, in the front, in the lead. Bulldogs looked in the third to maybe just be closing the gap ever so slightly, and then boom, Carlton exploded into life in the 4th. I think you've seen an incredible goal line clearance. Simpson, was it? He's dived like Superman. He's touched it through for a behind, sorry. That's what happened. And I think that was when Carlton just went boom, 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 boom. I think they scored 6 goals in the final quarter, man. 16 goals. It was 16-7, 103 to 7-9, 51 to Carlton. An incredible victory. That leaves them with 3 wins from 6, as well as the Bulldogs. So obviously I'm gutted the Bulldogs were poor, but they're not too far away in terms of the top 8. They really aren't. Both teams have done incredibly well so far. I think the Bulldogs could probably be a little bit disappointed for what they've done this year so far, but at the end of the day, they're still in the mix, and that's what's important. You look at teams like the Crows, possibly Melbourne, possibly Well, maybe just they two, really, if you think of it. I think there's nobody really as poor form as that. I fully expect Freo to be able to put a few more wins up there. I'm not convinced with Melbourne and the Crows at all this year. So anyway, good weekend, the footy. Looking forward to obviously this weekend coming up now. I'm looking forward to that. I will be doing my predictions maybe tomorrow for that one. I've already done them on the tipping thing, but I'll do my video for it. Don't forget to subscribe, everyone, and file the notifications bell on, and a few thumbs up to the videos would be greatly appreciated. We have obviously got our Patreon going. Love it if you could become a patron. That will help us fund our trip down under to do our AFL vlogging trip. And also, if you don't want to sign up to that, we've got a one-off donation thing called Get Us to Oz. Donate, get us to Oz. Check out our social media platforms as well, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and follow us there. Also, for my AFL supporters of the channel, we have the Donfathers AFL group on Facebook. Join that, there's lots of good fun on that as well. Loads of chat and videos and different stuff, breaking news, stories, etc. So join that as well, that would be great. Thanks very much, everyone, and I'll talk to you very, very soon. Goodbye.